Have you ever felt like your emotions were just in the driver's seat? Well, today we're going to dive into the ancient Stoic art of finding stillness. And here's the secret. It's not what you think. It's not about crushing your feelings or silencing them. It's about learning to actually understand them. Okay, let's really get into this core idea because it's so important. The whole point of Stoicism isn't to become some kind of robot with no feelings. No, it's the total opposite. It's about getting to know your inner world so well that emotions don't control you anymore. They become your guides, not your masters. And that brings us to this really powerful metaphor. Just picture your mind as a ship on this huge ocean of life, right? Storms of anger, fear, sadness, they're going to happen. That's a given. The real art, the Stoic art, is learning how to be the captain who can navigate through those storms instead of just being tossed around by the waves. So this all boils down to one fundamental question. It's a question the Stoics would want you to ask yourself every single day. When a big feeling comes up, who's calling the shots? Is it the calm, rational you, the captain, or is it that temporary, chaotic storm? All right, section 1. Let's start by looking directly at these storms. The Stoics totally got that emotions are just these natural waves of being human. The key isn't to try and stop the waves, but to change how you see them, to see past the illusion they often create. You know, the great Stoic philosopher Seneca just nailed it with this one. So much of our anxiety, so much of our pain doesn't actually come from the event itself. It comes from the story our mind is telling us about the event. Our imagination, man, it can be a powerful storm generator. And here's kind of how that plays out in real life. On one side, you've got this Category 5 hurricane our mind paints. It's catastrophic, it's overwhelming. And then on the other side, you have objective reality, what is actually happening, which, let's be honest, is usually way more manageable. The Stoics' whole skill is learning to tell the difference between the two. So this is the crucial shift right here. We have to reframe what an emotion even is. When you feel that surge of anger, it's not an order telling you to shout. When you feel fear, it's not a command to run away. It's just data. It's information telling you something about what's going on inside. Okay, so if emotions are just information, how in the world do we read it? Well, that brings us to section 2, the mirror of awareness. This is where we learn to use our feelings as a tool for self-discovery instead of a force for self-destruction. Think about it like this. Let's treat our emotions like a mirror. What are they reflecting back at us? That flash of anger, it's not just anger. It's probably reflecting a moment where you feel powerless. That anxiety, it's not just fear. It's showing you where you might need to build a little more faith in yourself. And jealousy, that one points directly to the place where you've forgotten how valuable your own journey is. And this right here is the Stoic method in practice. Instead of shoving these feelings down or trying to fight them, which, by the way, only makes them stronger, you get curious about them. You become an observer, a student of your own inner world. So, where does all this practice and awareness lead? It leads here, to what the Stoics thought of as the ultimate sanctuary. Picture the eye of a hurricane, that one spot of perfect, total calm surrounded by all that chaos. That calm center, it actually exists inside of you. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius had a name for this place, the inner citadel. It's this unshakable part of you. It's a fortress you can retreat to that can't be touched by what other people say, or by a project failing, or even by some huge success. It's your source of true internal stability. And here are his own words on it. This isn't some mystical, far-off place you have to go find. According to Marcus, the most peaceful, untroubled retreat you could ever hope for is already inside you, just waiting for you to visit. And this just reframes the entire journey, doesn't it? You're not trying to build something new from scratch. You're simply coming back to a part of yourself that was always there, the calm, observant, unshakable core of who you are. It's like coming home. Okay, so how do we actually find this inner citadel, especially when a storm is raging? The key is so simple, but it's the source of all your personal freedom. It's the power of the pause. Here it is. It's a simple 3-step process. First, the emotion comes up. You just notice it. You say to yourself, there's anger. No judgment. Second, and this is everything, you pause. You just take one single breath. This creates a tiny bit of space between the feeling and your reaction. And third, in that little gap you just created, you choose how to respond wisely. I want you to really think about that. All of your power, all of your freedom from being a slave to your emotions, it exists in that one tiny moment of pause. It's the space between the stimulus and the response. That is where you take back control. And this really gets to the heart of Stoic action. Look, you can't control the weather, you can't control the economy, you can't control what other people do, but you can always control how you choose to meet those things. That choice is the only thing you truly own, and frankly, it's the only one that matters for your own peace of mind. So let's end with this powerful image. A storm of emotion, you can let it pass through your awareness, kind of like a weather system just moving across the sky. But you don't have to let it soak into your soul and become who you are in that moment. You can stay as the calm observer. And so, I'll leave you with this final thought. The world is always going to be in motion. It's going to be full of chaos and uncertainty. The Stoic challenge and the ultimate source of strength is to find that still point within yourself. The world moves, but you can choose to remain unmoved.